Welcome to Seeing Dead People, the mystery storytelling podcast with a clairvoyant twist. We end every episode with Darcy answering a question from a listener about her psychic process. Now I'm going to move to my listener's question, which is stemming from this show. This idea of ghost hunting tools. You know, I tune into some of these ghost hunting shows. I've done that in the past because I thought they were entertaining, and I've always been, as you know, interested in this stuff. Now I do it because I'm thinking of ideas for our show and how people compare to what you're able to provide us. And I think a lot of it are gimmicks and gizmos. Okay. I mean, they even have apps now in the app stores that you can download, and you can get, you know, the old infrared camera idea, which they use all the time. So you have everybody in dark and black and white, and their eyes are white, and it looks really spooky. But in fact, I don't think anything ever shows up on those cameras. Now, they have special thermometers to identify cold spots. Do you think you need a special thermometer to identify a cold spot? You seem to do it.
No, you can walk into. Okay, so to answer one of these, I was approached once to look for someone who had gone missing. And I was living, I had a roommate at the time, and I'm in my bedroom. I'd been out looking for him, but when I say that, I didn't search for him. I was out looking for him, metaphorically speaking.
In your head?
Yes.
Okay.
And I went to bed that night, and I woke up in the middle of the night because my light kept going on and off, on and off. And I thought there was a short, and then I woke up and I sat up in bed. The water was dripping off the walls and the window. I was so cold. I got up, took my blanket, went into my roomie's bedroom. Thank God he had a king-size bed. Kicked him over, and I said, I'm sleeping in here tonight. He goes, why are you playing with your lights? I went, I'm not.
And he noticed that.
He noticed that, and I slept in his room that night because there was no way I was sleeping in my bedroom because it was sub-zero.
So when you say the water was coming down the walls, you mean that metaphorically?
Metaphorically. And in the morning they found him. He was in the water.
Well, what did they give you about him or from him that gave you some idea?
His name. That's it.
His name. You didn't get the old watch or lock of hair or anything like that?
There was too great of a distance. I even told them to get out the cadaver dogs because they were going to need them.
Right.
But I wasn't too sure how well the dogs, and I was a little confused because I thought he was in a cage. He was in a shopping cart.
He was in a shopping cart in the water.
Yeah.
Was he murdered?
So theory is, my theory is yes. Coroner's theory is no.
What, he thought he jumped in a shopping cart and pushed himself into the water or something?
Yeah.
I like your theory a lot better.
So yeah. And with instruments, sure, you can pick up the cold and everything like that, and you can hear static, more static than anything else personally on the voice things. But I've also seen them work.
Have you?
Yes. So they do work. And I think it's mainly because the people who use them aren't as intuitive. So they need that instrument.
Right.
To show them what they're looking for.
Right. Okay.
Because
so
you said they'll do all their research. So they'll have the research, but that doesn't mean they know exactly what they're looking for. Or
correct.
Book.
Right. Okay. Well, you've heard of electromagnetic field detector. Yes. That seems to be a big thing. And from what I've read, it's a bit of a crock because everything has an electromagnetic field. And so it looks dramatic on television because it might be a bright red light or a green light that flashes or, you know, comes on, and we all go, woo, there's something there. But in fact, it could be a toaster, or it could be someone's watch, or it could be anything, right? So that to me is a bit hokey.
There's one that I saw where it looked, the machine would draw a stick person to where they saw it.
You're holding a machine that draws a stick person, showing you the location.
Yeah.
And did you think that was a crock or that was legitimate somehow?
They believed it.
Okay, that's a very diplomatic answer. Okay. What about photographic anomalies? We've had some on, I've noticed that in a photograph.
Yeah.
Is that your intuition, or do you think they actually exist?
It's really there. Photographs have always been able to catch things like you see those spears floating around people. And
yep.
Just a minute.
Okay, you're looking for something. Okay, you're going to show me a photograph. Okay. And I see two orbs, light, circles of light, maybe three, to the left side of this gentleman's face.
This was just before he died.
Okay, so the skeptic in me, of course, would say, well, that was just a reflection on the light, on the lens, on whatever. And you say what?
I say no, those are his parents welcoming him.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Because he died shortly after that photo.
Now, let me ask you, when did you see that photo? Was he dead?
Not yet.
Not yet. So you saw those little lights in that photo at the time it was printed?
Yeah.
And then what did you think of those photos at that time, of those lights? You saw the same thing?
Same thing, that those are his parents welcoming him.
Did you then think he was going to die?
I knew he was going to die before I ever saw the photo.
Oh my God, Darcy. Really? This is obviously someone close to you.
It's my brother.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that your brother passed away.
He's okay. He's in a good spot.
But you knew that. How much in advance would you say you knew that?
The moment we were both diagnosed with cancer.
And you knew that he wasn't going to make it, and did you know you were going to make it?
Yeah.
Did he know? Is he intuitive like you?
Well, he probably had a good guess when the doctors told him he was going to die.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I think he knew.
Wow.
Even before that.
So how did you carry that burden?
I still do.
But when he was alive, you carried that burden.
I will always carry that burden.
Jeez, Darcy, that's hard.
Maybe hard, but I've always known when my family members are going to go.
Have you?
Yeah.
That's maybe part of your gift that you might want to, not have.
Yeah, totally.
But when you look at that photograph, then you're seeing your parents welcoming your brother.
No, my brother had different parents.
Oh, fully different parents? Both parents?
Yeah, technically.
Oh, okay. Okay, because I was thinking, then they're your own parents. Okay, that's interesting. All right. But you know who his parents were. You could tell them.
Yeah.
Wow. So you say then photographic anomalies is something that could... Okay. Because I have to, that I might buy into, and I'd certainly buy into video evidence, maybe, depending on how it was done, and audio evidence, maybe, depending on how it was done. But this idea, wandering around with night vision goggles and, having a Ouija board and a motion detector and all these things great on TV.
Ouija boards are things you do not fool around with when it comes time to spirit.
Okay, well, if you would, I want to hold on to that because I know there's a lot to be said about a Ouija board, and I was hoping to use that as another question in the future. Could I do that?
Yes, you can.
Okay, cool. How about, motion detectors? Do you think spirits actually make a motion that would be detectable? There's a physicality to them?
I've never seen that.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't really comment on it because I've never seen them make a motion except for that stick person drawing.
Okay. Well, that one I think is a bit of a hoax. Okay. Then there's also a thing called, well, you've talked a bit about static. They call it a spirit box, which is supposedly scanning radio frequencies, right? And you hear static and you might hear a little word, popping out. And that's supposed to be the spirit interrupting something. Now again, I could, as a skeptic, say, I can do that on the radio anytime and voices might pop out or whatever. But you're saying you've actually experienced perhaps it happening where you believed in it.
It's a different frequency than a radio. It's a little higher pitched. And yes, I've heard people speak. I've heard names being spoken.
Okay. All right. That might be another thing we'll explore in the future, because I always wonder, why are spirits so banal in their conversations? They don't really have much to say.
Oh, they
don't.
have a lot to say. You just have to tune in.
Okay, well, there you go. See, that's what I want to find out. Because when I, see and hear stuff on TV or in whatever communications might be out there, it doesn't seem like spirits, whoever they are having, extensive conversations or saying a lot of stuff. It's usually, calling out a name or go away or some, dumb thing like that.
Full conversations if you stand still long enough and let them.
Okay, well, that's going to be another question for the future. Okay, convos. Thank you. And lastly, and I thought this is a good one. Have you ever felt the need to carry with you into a place holy water?
Well, that's a totally different subject.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with spirit, but the actual environment that you're going into.
Okay, well then we will talk about that again, because from my perspective, it's Catholicism, holy water. It's not other religions, so I don't know how it would necessarily work, for example, in a Muslim house or a Buddhist house or something. But I wondered if I know whether you actually ever carried it about or felt it was something you could use. So maybe we can hold that.
But I carry my crucifix with me.
Okay, well then we will talk, if we could, if you don't mind. I'm going to add that to my list of many questions here for future.
All right.
Okay, so then you've debunked my debunking of some of the tools that are used to hunt and track down ghosts. You say, in your experience, some of them have worked.
Yes, and let's add in dowsing rods. Okay.
Oh yeah, yes, I've got that. You talked about that one time.
They work too for finding spirit.
I thought they found water.
They find water, but they can also work on finding spirit and lost objects.
Can they really?
Oh yeah.
And now, do you use them?
Occasionally.
So is there like a technique to using a dowsing rod, or you just have to have the belief in it and put them together and walk outside or something?
There's a little bit of technique. One is you do have to believe in them, but normally when they cross,
yes,
when you find what you're looking for.
So why wouldn't it be water then rather than a spirit?
Oh, because you ask the dowsing rod to find it. You tell them. Yeah.
Oh, so you say go find water versus go find Gertrude.
Yeah.
Okay, what if you don't know the name of the thing you're trying to find?
Then why are you looking for it?
Well, I mean, let's say people say there's a haunted house and they talk about hearing deep voices. Okay, I'm going to go into a haunted house with dowsing rods.
You got to be looking for something that is sort of tangible. Like if I was to walk in and say, show me where spirit stands, it would find that.
Okay.
It's not going to show me where a voice is. It's got to be descriptive.
A location specifically. Yes. So that's why it finds things.
Yes.
Water is a thing. Okay, yes. So you could say, go into a room and say, find me the lost gold watch.
That's right.
Okay, and it might do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, it does. My daughter and I used to play games where we'd hide something and the other person had to go find it.
Using the dowsing rods?
Oh, yeah. Or the pendulum, or, a watch or whatever is in your hand. That's
another question. We got to try that. I've got to try that. I've got to try dowsing. I think I could try to do that. I might believe that. Cool. Okay, Darcy, that's fascinating. And I was thinking when, all these television shows, they all have all these gizmos and gimmicks, and you have your head. It's all happening there. It's amazing. You don't need this stuff.
I don't, but sometimes I want to buy it and try it.
Like your tarot card collection.
Yes. Sometimes it's just fun to try these things.
It is fun.
I have no problem buying a voice box or setting something up just so we could try it.
Yeah, and I think that's the right spirit and the way of doing it. I think some of these apps are good in that they say it's a great game.
Yes.
they don't declare that they're going to be finding spirits or stuff. But you're right; it's like a parlor game. It's kind of fun. But I know you mentioned, and we will talk about it in the future. The Ouija board is not something to fool around with, so that one wouldn't be a game. So we will follow up on that on another Seeing Dead People.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. This has been really interesting.
This has been a presentation